Next up is a scene from a movie called Gosford Park. Now, what do you need to know to watch this scene? The man at the end of the table with the dog, Michael Gambon, or Dumbledore Mark II, is the lord of the manor. He's the guy with all the money, and all of his family have got to, go to him hat in hand if ever they need a pound or a shilling. The woman at the other end of the table been a success. The woman with the little gravy boat, the maid who is serving at table, played by Emily Watson, that is Michael Gambon's mistress. He is having an affair with one of the maids in his house. Everyone has gathered at this country estate for a weekend of shooting, a regular hunting party. So the guy with the American accent, played by Bob Balaban, is a Hollywood movie producer who's there researching a movie, and he wants to gather atmosphere on life in an English country home. So here is the dinner scene from Gosford Park.
Goodness, isn't it pretty here? The house is such a lovely position.
Best views from the old water tower. You might well walk up there tomorrow. Do you really have to go back to London?
I'm afraid so, Raymond. When you're ruined, there's so much to do.
Yes, there is, isn't there? Man.
Oh, I'd like some, please.
Would anybody care for a game of bridge after dinner?
Oh, yes, if I wouldn't mind.
Who else? Louisa, how about you?
Oh, I don't think so. I've rather gone off cards. I've never been very lucky with them.
Me too.
Mr. Weissman,
Yes.
tell us about the film you're going to make.
Oh, sure. It's called Charlie Chan in London. It's a detective story.
Set in London.
Well, not really. Most of it takes place at a shooting party in a country house, sort of like this one, actually. Murder in the middle of the night, a lot of guests for the weekend, everyone's a suspect, that sort of thing.
How horrid. And who turns out to have done it?
Oh, I couldn't tell you that. It would spoil it for you.
Oh, but none of us will see it.
Are you thinking of making it here, Mr. White?
No, we're going to shoot it in Hollywood, on the back lot. But since I was in England, I thought I would do a little research on country living, and Ivor was kind enough to arrange it for me.
No, William arranged it for you.
Are you interested in films, sir?
Not likely.
Why shouldn't I be interested in films? You don't know what I'm interested in.
Well, I know you're interested in money and fiddling with your guns, but I admit it, when it comes to anything else, I'm stumped.
That's it. That is not fair, Billy.
Okay, so among these people, there are supposed to be these little rules that are more, honored in the breach than otherwise. But the idea is you're not supposed to be starting family squabbles, especially when there are, guests at the dinner table. But people are people. If they want to fight, they're going to fight. This crowd has developed a way of getting their point across while technically staying just inside the rules of what you can and can't say. You can say something that the words of which are perfectly correct, but you say it with a tone of voice that makes it perfectly clear what you really feel. So there are these little looks that pass between people, and most of them, just, sort of flash by and the camera isn't focused on them. But there are two that they do catch, and I want to bring them to your attention. The first is this one that passes between Emily Watson and Michael Gambon, who, as I said, are having an affair. She just sort of No. He's looking at her first, and then she sort of glances at him, and there's some sort of unspoken thing that passes between them, and then she just looks out, like the perfect servant. I'm not really here. They take this attitude, the servants who are serving these dinners, of I'm not really here, I'm not hearing, so that the people at the table feel comfortable just talking without thinking, the servants are overhearing everything we say. The second look happens right here. She's very much aware that she has messed up. She looks for some sort of support. And right behind her is standing Richard E. Grant. And he has this look on his face as he's looking at her of sympathy, of, oh, you just messed up big time. But when she turns to look at him, all gone, straight out, servant, I'm not even really here. But then, right at the very end of the scene, the camera stays on him, and his face, his mouth gets just this tiny little half smile that he likes her for having done that. There are two places in here where somebody kind of laughs a little bit involuntarily when something awkward happens. So there's a place where Kristen Scott Thomas is suddenly at a much higher pitch of emotional intensity and anger than she has been, than anybody has been in the scene up to this point.
I know you're interested in money and fiddling with your guns.
And there's a reason for this. It's because the way that character says that line, that is what pulls the response out of the maid, played by Emily Watson. Nobody who has been in service for more than like a month would speak out of turn the way this maid character does here, but the plot needs her to do it. And so it falls upon Kristen Scott Thomas to give that line enough punch and enough intensity that it sort of, gets Emily Watson to where she needs to be. But in my opinion, I don't think they quite get there. So it's the kind of thing that gets me thinking, and all apologies to Julian Fellows, but I thought, what would it take to get a maid or footman to contradict one of the family or one of the family's guests? And I could think of two things. One, if she's a little bit drunk or maybe just tipsy. And I need to go back and watch the bit just before this and see, maybe that's in there and I forgot about it. But there's something else they could do, which is if the maid had already spoken to one of the people at dinner. And there's a lot of very plausible ways that this could happen. For example, something like this.
Stevens, is there any meat of any kind in this soup?
No, sir. I think it's mushroom stock, sir. Mushroom ends and skins, onion and celery. No meat at all. Cold water and then cook, add sherry.
Okay.
That's a little scene from Remains of the Day. So if somebody, say the Hollywood movie producer who doesn't know the ins and outs of these things, asks some innocent question and she is responding, I think that would sort of open up the door to her saying something else. So what I'm getting at here is there are going to be times when the writing demands that you do something that maybe doesn't make a whole lot of emotional sense, but it has to be done anyway. Just go ahead and do it. It'll make your life a lot easier. And if you can find a really good way to do it, then they will love you. I don't exactly know what to say about what Bob Balaban's character is going through here, the movie producer. all these other characters have these unspoken tensions that are boiling between all of them, and sometimes they say what they're feeling, and sometimes they lie. Not Bob Balaban. He seems to say exactly what is on his mind, and he seems to be an extremely, well, let's say, not layered personality. It makes a great contrast, that's for sure. So next up is a little scene from a movie called Hannah and Her Sisters. Now, what do you need to know to watch this scene? Things are fraught at this little lunch.
Hi, where's Holly? She's auditioning for a television commercial. She said she's going to be a little late.
Yeah, how's she doing?
Oh, God, you know Holly, when she's depressed, she's manic. I think it was a good idea that we invited her to lunch.
I hope you tell her it was your idea, because
Why?
every time I try to be helpful, you know, she gets so defensive.
Oh, Hannah, she's just embarrassed in front of you, that's all.
So how are you?
Oh, me, I'm okay.
You miss Frederick?
No.
I can't believe Elliot and I can't think of someone nice for you to go out with.
How are you? You know?
Okay.
Are you doing okay? How's Frederick?
Yeah,
I mean, Elliot.
He's fine. I guess he's fine. I don't know. He's been kind of moody lately, last few months. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's just kind of distant and difficult. I've been trying to talk to him about it. He says everything's fine. But I don't know. Automatically, you lead to the worst conclusion. I think,
Right.
I don't know, he's seeing someone else or
Oh,
something.
no.
But
I mean,
guess
everyone
it's
thinks
business
things like
problems.
that.
Well,
Hey,
I just
hi.
came from an audition, which I did not get. So what's new? They said I was too offbeat looking, whatever
what
the
do they
hell
know,
that
you
means.
know?
Thanks. But guess who's there auditioning?
April? Oh, gosh.
Got it. I was
doesn't
very
miss a
polite. I
trick.
maintained my poise. I said hello.
I never trusted April, you know? She has eyes in the back of her head.
Yeah, well, she and an architect are now a very definite item, which I still cannot believe. Yeah, although it's put an end to the Stanislavski Catering Company, which is why I have to speak to you. And you're going to get impatient, but I have to borrow some more money.
Well, that's fine.
What I decided to do is some writing. Yeah, I think I've had it with acting. You know, these meaningless auditions, cattle calls, and I can't handle another rejection. You know, let's face it here. I've got to, latch on to something in my life. Something with a future. I'm not 16 anymore. It's just crazy. But I've got an idea for a story, more than one, and I just need a few months, or a year even. I picked up a lot about dramatic structure from doing my scenes in acting class.
Well, that's good. It just seems to me that 6 months or a year, if you spend it more productively.
Like what?
Well, I don't know. Didn't Mom mention there was something at the Museum of Broadcasting?
Yeah, that's clerical.
No, didn't she say it was, she said it was in the publicity department. That can lead to other things.
Boy, I knew you'd be discouraging.
I'm not. I'm trying to be helpful. Like, a person doesn't just say one day, okay, now I'm finished as an actress. Now I'm a writer.
Yeah, you mean not at my age?
Oh, please, we all came to have lunch, didn't we?
Yeah, okay, right. Forget it. What's to eat? I just want a salad. You really think I'm a loser, don't you?
You're being ridiculous.
You are, Holly. Stop it.
You treat me like a loser.
How?
You never have any faith in my plans. You always undercut my enthusiasm.
Not so. No, I think I've been very supportive. I try to give you honest, constructive advice. I'm always happy to help you financially. I think I've gone out of my way to introduce you to interesting single men. There's nothing
losers.
Oh,
all losers.
You're too demanding.
You know, I could always tell what you thought of me by the type of men you fixed me up
You're
with.
crazy. That's not true.
Hey, Hannah, I know I'm mediocre.
Oh, stop attacking Hannah. She's going through a really rough time right now.
Why are you so upset?
You know, you've been picking on her ever since she came in here, and I just leave her alone for a while. I'm just suffocating.
What's the matter with you, Lee? Why are you so sensitive all of a sudden?
Listen, you want to write.
What's
Write.
the matter?
Write. Let's just not talk about it anymore.
Good.
Take a year, take 6 months, whatever you want. Who knows? Maybe you'll be sitting with a good play. What's the matter? What's the matter with you? You look pale. You okay?
Yeah, I'm I've got dizzy all of a sudden. I have a headache. I think we need to eat.
Okay, so the whole point of the scene is that these two sisters, Mia Farrow and Diane Wiest, are having this little fight, but it's all about the third sister, who is having an affair with Mia Farrow's husband. And while these two are fighting, she's having all these emotions, presumably guilt, which she deserves. Now, the minute her two sisters start talking this way, once they start going down this road, Barbara Hershey's character knows where this is going. She's heard this kind of thing before. She knows how Holly is going to react to all the little things that Hannah is saying when she talks about getting a job at the Museum of Broadcasting. She wants to be an actor. She wants to be maybe a writer. She doesn't want a functional job in the publicity department of the Museum of Broadcasting. And you can see that Barbara Hershey, when this starts, she knows, she just sort of sinks. But underneath all of this is her massive guilt because she is having an affair with her sister's husband. Folks, don't have affairs with your sister's husband. This is basic stuff. And by the end, it seems like she's on the verge of tears. And she can't tell them why she's so upset, why she's on the verge of tears. So she makes up a lie and just says, oh, I guess I just need to eat something. And she says, Hannah's having a really tough time right now, and they don't know what she means. Well, the tough time is that her husband is having an affair. Well, with guess who? And I think it's really great the way Holly, Diane Wiest's character, turns and starts saying to Barbara Hershey, what's wrong with you? And it's almost like the fight that she's having with her other sister, well, that's nothing. That's just, the way we talk to each other. Why would that upset you? Which puts a different spin on, the bickering between Mia Farrow and Diane Wiest. It seems very hot, very important, and I guess it is, but in another sense, they're family and they just talk to this way to each other. And the last thing they would expect is their third sister to get actually emotionally upset by this. They understand that sometimes you can be having an emotion, a real emotion, and it's intense and it's emotionally heated, but it's not running very deep in that moment. And some rather small thing can suddenly take your attention and all of that emotion just sort of goes away. Turning on a dime is a great thing for an actor. It just has to be really well motivated or, let's say, well written. So Holly is asking to borrow money so that she can spend a year just writing, so she doesn't have to work. So this is rent in New York City for a year, food, who knows what else. I bet she has a rather large clothes budget. And Mia Farrow agrees, but when she agrees, she's very angry and terse.
Take a year, take 6 months, whatever you want.
If she were turning her down, she would probably be very, very sweet and compassionate about it. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I just can't give it to you right now. It's a funny thing. When you're turning somebody down, you're very sweet and nice. When you're agreeing to what they're asking of you, that gives you room to be very angry and mean. And there's a point in there somewhere, but I don't quite know what it is. So, who, out of all the actors in these three scenes, won an Oscar? Well, it was Diane Wiest for playing Holly in Hannah and Her Sisters. It was her first of 2 Oscars. So far,